All right. That's lovely. Thank you so much. It's so good to see some familiar faces, actually. Um, Really good. But I'm going to go through you all one by one. Good evening, everyone. I'm Zainab Al Cairo, Executive Director of Global Chamber London and founder of Zolt Consulting. It's a cross-border advisory working at the intersection of business, government, and investment across the UK and GCC, but now globally as well. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this month's Global Chamber Meetup, where we make global local, essentially. So I've just returned from Saudi, and I'm just going to share this with you guys, where I was honored to speak and moderate at the Creative Women Forum in Riyadh. It was powerful to witness the country's transformation, especially around women in business, leadership, and capital. Um, it reminded me how fast the world is shifting, and how important it is for us in London to be tapped into that momentum. Um, that's what this community is all about. That's what the Global Chamber is all about: real connections, trusted dialogue, expanding, sharing opportunities. I mean, we were doing business in the breakout areas in Riyadh, not exchanging cards. There were deals that were being made, and that's what this space is about. This is what we're going to be continuing with here at the Global Chamber. Um, and before we go any further into the UK business climate, which I'd love to tap into and talk about, I'd love to go round the room with some of the key participants of today, and I'd love for you to introduce yourselves, how you've come to learn about the Global Chamber, but also about what it is that you do, what your business is. So I'd like to start with Rada, if she's here. I can't see
Hi.
on the screen. Hi, hello.
Well, thank you, Zainab, for inviting me today to this event. So I actually met Zainab in an event in May, and then reached out to her a couple of weeks ago, and then she sort of introduced me to the world of global chambers, spoke about this amazing community, and said the next monthly meetup's happening in on the 11th of November. So I was like, yes, definitely, I'm sold. So it's nice to come to the first monthly meetup. But for everyone else, so I'm Ghada, based out in London, and I've recently founded my venture called Zero Partners, and the whole premise of Zero Partners is to almost act as an ecosystem connector. So it's connecting AI innovators with enterprises. So you've got loads of enterprises at the moment where they've got bold ambitions, limited capacity, and overwhelmed by choice. So how do we match them with the right AI innovators in this space who are proven innovators, have delivered results, but might have limited reach? In terms of my remit and focus, it's the UK, because that's the market I've sort of worked in over the last decade, and tapping into the Middle East, that's where my origins are. So bringing both worlds together. So that's me.
Thank you so much, Rada. And Rada, whilst you're here, why don't you tell us what kind of partnerships or clients you're looking for, and most importantly, where your passions truly lie?
So for me, it's working with enterprises that where leadership is essentially kind of on the AI journey already. So they're bought in, they've got the mindset to kind of look into AI adoption and implementation, and it can be cross-sector. At the moment, my sort of go-to-market focus is predominantly where my relationships lie. So that's essentially in retail, tourism. I'm looking at the oil and gas sector in the Middle East, real estate, and manufacturing. So it's obviously very vast because it just depends by sector, but it's really where you've got enterprises that sort of ready to lean into sort of AI, but just are sort of overwhelmed by choice.
Thank you so much, Rana. Wow, thank you so much for introducing your business to us as well. And we're really excited to have you here today. There's also, I'd love to introduce you to Zaid. I can't see on my screen, but I would love for you to pop up, Zaid.
Yeah, hi Zainab, good to see you again. Hi everybody. So my name is Zaid Bunni. I met Zainab a few months ago in an event was organized by IBBC. Uh, I've been here in London for the last 10 years. I spent another 10 years in China before that. I've been in the packaging industry for the last 2 decades, where we run factories in Asia and in Europe. That have been my main focus for the last 2 decades. Now I'm stepping away from that day-to-day business, and we're looking for new opportunities for investment from next year. So that's why I'm looking for expanding my network and see what's there, and looking for opportunities in Middle East and other, and meeting new people, like-minded people. So that's why I'm here. And yeah, thank you, Zainab, for the invitation.
Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, Zaid, you are in the right place indeed. If you know, networking and broadening your expansions and connecting with like-minded people, but also business people where business does happen, you are absolutely in the right place. So great to have you with us. And the way this works really is I'm gonna this is my first attempt, to put you all in breakout rooms where essentially you can get to know each other and each other's businesses and make connections as easy as that, right? And this is what this is about essentially. And then we'll go into the climate of what the UK business is thriving on and where it's lacking. Before I put everybody in breakout rooms, I want to ask Doug if he would like to introduce anyone in particular that I've missed out. Because for some reason I can't see my entire screen, so maybe I've completely missed somebody here.
Oh, okay. You're not able to see the participant screen side of it?
No,
Oh, that's a bummer.
I know it's not very convenient at all.
Generally, there's a thing that's at least on my Apple where I can click participants, and then it opens up, all of that, similar to the chat. At least on this app, the participants and chat are side by side. So you might want to poke around with that. I know I always have problems with the emotion one, or what is it called? Not emotion, but React, it's called now, to figure that out. Let's see, React, like this, hey, okay, I love this meeting. Okay, great. I did not have, maybe Anne Marie would be a good person to introduce. I would like to say, kind of just as a preface, is that I am the founder of Global Chamber, and I am a crazy global guy. Most of my career has been in Asia. I speak Japanese, lived in Japan and ran a joint venture, also ran a joint venture for DuPont, which was most of my career in Singapore. So I know Singlish as well. And I lost all of my French and all of my German by learning Japanese, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. My trips to Geneva were somewhat disappointing for myself that I have such a limited brain, only English and Japanese. But I am an older fellow who likes to network, but I don't want members to necessarily rely on networking to be successful. I do want intentional connecting to be the main driving force for Global Chamber, because we are everywhere. That then puts a premium on virtual, to allow any of you to jump into a meeting anywhere. But I think one of the things that we don't do really well yet, but we will, is the framework of trust, that we know that members like Lothar and Anne Marie, we know them as people, and we know by introducing them to other people, we get feedback, positive feedback. We know and build a trust level with that. So now that we put these asterisks next to people's names, I remember Ildiko as an example, who's here as well. I was walking through Scottsdale, Arizona, between our mailbox and the bank, and I was listening to her speak at a Globinar a few months ago. It was a hot day in Arizona. It was like 110 or 112 Fahrenheit. It was really hot, and I was carrying my bag, and I was listening to her thinking, oh my God, she is so smart and so knowledgeable on a topic that I couldn't imagine myself grasping, and just so impressed by what she's doing. And so that's the kind of feeling we have about members, that it's like, wow, these people are just amazing. They're professional and ethical, and we can trust them and know them, and we want to give them connections. We passionately want to connect them and see them successful in their business. People like Michael Quigley in the Global Chamber London chapter, he's a superstar, just like Katie is, just like Zainab. So I think, Zainab, just as you probably are getting too much by, sorry for setting this up this way, but I do feel very strongly that if you've got a star next to your name, you're a superstar, and we have now a way of being even better at connecting these superstars to the world. I also recognize that not everybody, the people that have a global mindset are our global tribe. The people who have lived, in different places. Zaid Bunny, the way you describe yourself, clearly you're a global triber. You're somebody that's lived internationally. You've done some international work, and we need to continue to find ways to make sure that ideally everybody in the world who has a global mindset, who has global business, and that kind of fits the profile ideally, is part of this community. That's certainly what our hope and goal is. And many times when we do make introductions, they're not necessarily a member of Global Chamber. The reverse doesn't usually work. Like a non-member comes in and says, can you introduce me to such and such? That we don't normally do, but the reverse we do. And one of the more famous ones was when somebody asked us, could you introduce us to Charles Bronson? And it's like, Charles Bronson, the actor Charles Bronson. It's like, why? I was thinking to myself, and they said, it's that Virgin Airlines guy. It's like, well, okay, that's not Charles Bronson. That's Richard Branson. And I don't know. He's not a member of Global Chamber, but we know a lot of people. So the next, or really within an hour, we already had triggered the possibility of that happening. And we found out that a member in Norway works with him quite closely, and they were able to make the introduction. And so that's our vision of having this warm community of people who are members that we know really well, that we're actively connecting, that there's a bigger community of people. And hey, I'd love to have Richard Branson as an official global triber, and he probably is unofficially for sure. But our goal is to have this whole connecting thing going on. And Zainab is so global. I love what she's bringing to the table now with Global Chamber London, that we're kind of getting a little bit of away from where we've historically been with the London chapter, where we were before Katie, very local. And we've been progressively becoming more and more global. And Zainab, you are super global. And so thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that to us. And we're just here to support you and all the members. And so I look forward to the breakout sessions, including Mark, who's a brand new member of Global Chamber, who I think signed up yesterday. But I think I started out by introducing Anne Marie. And I went on a diatribe. Sorry about that. Where are you, Anne Marie? There you are. Would you like to introduce yourself before we move on to the next phase?
Sure, Doug, thank you so much. I've been a member, I think now for about 5 or 6 months. I'm based in Dublin. And I am a coach, business coach and mentor who works specifically with healthcare and medical business owners. So I work with a lot of practice owners where they are the clinician, but they're also the business owner. So I work with them around their growth, around their leadership, around their boundaries, so that they hopefully don't burn out, which we have a very high rate of in healthcare, really worldwide. We see it in Ireland, we see it in the UK, and I know we see it in Europe and the US as well. So I was invited to Global Chamber. I'd started working with a sales coach who was based in the UK, and she had said, there's a lady I want you to meet, and that was Katie. And I was invited to a meeting just like this, and that was about, I think I'm going to say 5-6 months ago. And I'm at quite a few of the meetings. I've already made some great connections, and I've already connected some other people who were looking for opportunities in Ireland and in Northern Ireland. So yeah, it's been a really supportive, collaborative network. And I think, Doug, you alluded to it earlier. It's that trusted connections piece, which I think is a really big part of the values of Global Chamber. So it's a great network. I'm so proud to be part of it.
That's awesome. I want to make sure that especially Globies tend to have multiple locations and they're from different places and they travel, that the location you are is less important, but what you want to do in your life, what you want to do in your business, what the impact that you want to have guides everything. And so let us know along the way who you want to meet and the impact that you want to have, and that will drive us, not exactly where you're living or where you're sitting today, but where you want to be, who you want to meet, including Charles Bronson or Richard Branson. Charles Bronson, I think, might be dead, but Richard Branson is alive and well, and we're happy to make that introduction if you if you buy us a beer. So
thank you, Doug. Thank you so much for that. And it was lovely to hear from Anne-Marie as well. Really nice to see you again. And let's get started. So I'm just going to put everybody out in breakout rooms. We're going to do multiple breakout rooms. So we're going to start with the first 3, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to hear from you of what you've discovered. And we're going to put ourselves in another mix of breakout rooms to give you the opportunity to speak to everybody in this room. So hopefully this is going to work, because it is the first time I do this. And here we go.
Let it fly.
Oh, and you'll have 5 minutes, I believe. So I think this...
The Global Chamber, is that you, Sophie, or is that Cesar? Is that you?
The one I'm using is Sophie at Global Chamber.
Oh, okay. So there's a Global Chamber one in there too. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Let me just put my name there.
Okay, thanks, Cesar.
Okay, so I think we are in a room ourselves, and we have Thierry with us.
Oh, look at that. Okay, let's see. Oh, I see. Join.
So I think we have a breakout room. Right, there we go.
Oh, yes, we do have a breakout room, Ms. Zainab. I think I already know Caesar. I already know Ms. Sophie. So, in fact, Mr. Thierry, Mr. Thierry, if I'm pronouncing that right, it's only you whom I don't know from Utah, though I've heard about you a lot of times. I do know Mr. Caesar and Ms. Sophie, of course. So, I don't know, maybe maybe you could get to know.
Hi, Nikhil. How are you?
All
Sophie,
good, all good.
Sophie, if you're hearing, could you please place Mikhail in one of the breakout rooms. This is not really a breakout room. This is the main room.
Yeah,
Sophie, if
the
you
one
can
who
help him.
have access is Zainab. So I don't have access with the breakout rooms, but let me try. Oh, here.
Yeah, you probably, because it says you're a host.
Okay.
Yeah, give it a try so Mikhail can benefit the host.
I have sent the invite to the room, so you just have to accept.
Perfect. He went away. Thank you, Sophie.
Okay.
My sincere apologies, Mr. Caesar. It seems that I'd been moved finally after 2 breakout rooms to Miss Anne Mary's room. But while I was just minimizing my mobile Zoom meeting browser, it just got shifted back. So maybe if I could just be moved to Miss Anne Mary's meeting room, Miss Sophie. Oh yes.
Let I'll transfer you again.
No, it's not fair. He's making this all about me. It may not be perfect, but we are. Oh, excuse me. I have more important things to do than my fellow.
I've already sent the request to join the room.
No, I don't know. I somebody, Miss Zainab moved me to Miss Anne Mary's room, but then again I got pulled out of that room and I got shifted back over here. I don't know who's doing that. I think Miss Zainab is doing that.
Okay,
So I
let
don't know
me
why
try.
she's doing that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me try again.
Yeah.
I've sent the request to join the room. So let me know if you've seen the request.
Hello, everybody. Good to see everyone again. We were just cut off actually. Nikhil was talking to us in our breakout room, and then our 5 minutes ran out. Nikhil, do you wanna carry on what you were saying?
Oh, I hope I'm not taking up the time of the session today. Thank you so much, Ms. Zainab.
And just continue from just telling us what you do.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Ms. Zainab and Mr. Doug and Mr. Caesar for allowing this. Good evening, all. Good evening, team. Great to see you all. My apologies. I'll be able to switch on my video within the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just on the move here. I'm an international business advisor. I work with global governments, with foreign governments to promote trade between different parts of the world. Of course, with India, I am from India. So with UK particularly, we have a good relation with certain chambers of commerce, with certain government bodies, such as the Indian government offices, starting with the High Commission of India in London, to the Consulate General of India in Birmingham, to the Indian Embassy. We have a lot of officers working there to promote ties between both the countries because of obviously the historical context. And more than anything, we have certain good clients from UK. One of the top law firms of UK with 45 lawyers with offices in London, Birmingham, Manchester, and Surrey, who has a 19-year plus rich legacy. It's a top mid-sized, top 100 mid-sized law firm in UK. They have been working with over 3 years with us. We have been giving them business in British pounds, not just from Middle East and from India, but also from other parts of the world. We have 2 people employed on their workforce here in India, and we are just doing the marketing for them. And that's essentially what we do. We also have uh, a top law firm here from the western part of India who's looking to penetrate into UK, where I feel some of your companies could definitely play a good role there. And well, more than anything, I think there are lots more in terms of interest into UK, which I'm getting from certain parts of the world, particularly again from Australia, one of my real estate clients. So I think that's what we do. We work with global governments to promote trade between India and the rest of the world. And also we do business with private sector companies to help them grow in terms of their sales numbers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nikhil. Thank you for letting us all know what it is that you do in your business. All right, let's move to group one. I believe that was Thierry, is that right? Ngada, Mark, Zaid. Would love to hear your feedback on what you guys found. Don't worry, anyone can speak here. So
I think in that group Terry didn't join, so the three of them, Mark and Zaid and one other person, I think, were there.
Yeah, that was me, Mark, and Gada, and we had a short introduction about what Mark and what everybody of each of us is doing, and the story, Mark's story about Portugal, and a bit more personal we were.
Okay, lovely. Yeah. Mark, do you want to tell us a little bit more about your stories and your company?
Yeah, I guess we left the UK 4 or 5 years ago, and we're running the business out of Portugal, myself and my wife, and basically we're working with large organizations around the world, just specifically around developing their team's commercial and influencing capability. So we created a program which is an executive presence 2-day program, which focuses on giving people that visual and that vocal presence and that ability to be impactful when communicating. And so far it's been well received. And I kind of joined the network because we're now going global. So 80% of our business 2 years ago was in the UK. We now find that's dropped down to 40%, and it's a lot in the US, Africa, and the UK too. So yeah, I just thought it'd be great to start to be a part of a more global network as things start to go a bit more global, which is aligned with our name, which is C4S Global. So we were very well aligned when we created the name of the business. So there you go.
Well, look at that. I I mean, our role at the Global Chamber is to bridge these two currents, that's for sure, and supporting members like you to grow globally, confidently. And this is what this is about, really. Thank you so much, Mark, for sharing that. Anyone else wants to share anything from their group? Anna Ribeiro, would you like to tell us a little bit about your group?
Hi. Well, this is my first Global Chamber meeting because I just became a member a month ago.
Welcome.
And I finally managed to attend meeting. I am based in Spain, actually, although, as you can see from my company name, I'm Brazilian and have lived I was relating a lot to what Doug was saying because I lived in Uruguay, I lived in Portugal, now I'm in Spain, and who knows where next. And well, our group was very interesting because, we had Lothar and we had Anne-Marie. And Lothar thought he is the longest standing member in our group. He's been a Global Chamber member for 8 years, is that right?
Something like that.
Lothar, yeah. And yeah, well, and I talked a bit about my business, which what I do is I help companies who want to enter the Brazilian market or want to solidify their presence in the Brazilian market. And I help them by making their text and their marketing materials sound native. And I work with their strategy teams and with their marketing teams so we can create a cohesive launch campaign and that kind of thing. And yeah, and Marie told a bit more about her business, and Lothar told all about his consulting company.
That's great. Thank you so much. That's lovely. I think we're going to definitely mix up some of the rooms. And whilst I do that, I just noticed we have Michael in here in the room. Hello. Would love to get a few minutes with you. Tell us a little bit more about you, Michael.
Oh, what do you want to know? What do you want to tell you? I can tell you loads of things.
Yeah, well, okay, you're right. I should narrow this down, actually. How about you tell us what business you're in and what it is that how you met or how you came across the Global Chamber?
Yes, I can do that. Hello, my name is Michael Quigley. I run a business called Catalyst. I've been in the Global Chamber for 6 years now, Doug. 6 years. I'm on a mission trying to help 1 billion people, and the Global Chamber has been absolutely instrumental in helping me to do that. One of the main ways has been in, encouraging me to speak Spanish, that I do very badly. I've just been on a Spanish lesson, so I'm sorry I'm late. So I develop leaders. I train leaders. I'm a qualified teacher, and I train leaders and I train their teams. I do high performance accelerators, and graduate programs and things like that. I've taught people as young as 5 and as old as 70 when I used to train my dad how to be fit and do press ups. He doesn't do that anymore. Most of my stuff is based online. And as long as people speak English and have access to the internet, they can get content from me. I put out a lot of stuff for free. And the Global Chamber is really helpful for me and helping me to keep thinking big because it's very easy to get a little bit like that sometimes. And every time I come here, you all inspire me so much to keep thinking big and to remain committed to something that's bigger than yourself. So yeah, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I have a podcast, I have online platforms, various different things. I'm just here to help you guys as best I can. And thank you for asking. It's very kind.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Michael. Really lovely to have you with us. It's just in time for us to go into another breakout room. So I tried to mix everybody as much as I could. But there might be some repetitions there, but all good. Get to know each other more. So here we go. We've got 5 minutes. So let's do this. Hello, everyone. I completely disappeared, so we had a lovely chat. And actually, I don't know what happened. Apologies, completely. um, we did witness a beautiful synergy there in my group, and I'll tell you what, this is what the Global Chamber is about. This is why we do this. We just had a couple of connections in my group straight away, recommendations and putting people in touch with people, and I just love that. This is why we do this. You don't need a pitch deck, you don't need an interview. This is why it's so important for us to show up at these monthly meetups, because you just get introductions and business out of it. So that was wonderful to see. I'd love to see and hear some reflections from everyone else. Everyone else wants to share? Don't be shy. How about group one here?
Was that all, Zainab? I don't know. I think we were group one, were we?
Oh, were we? Oh, that's funny. Group two. So Lothar, would you like to tell us a little about some reflections of your group?
Well, we went into what we did, and I think we each gave a good background and what we offer. And a lot of us kind of are in the same business. We're in somehow or other, we're all consultants. Somewhat different things, but we probably all share the same problems and the same aspirations.
I'd like to add something which I picked up, Zainab, is I think in many cases when we run our own businesses and we want to go global, we have this assumption that we have to have massive brand equity for people to want to work with us. So we need to have built something pretty huge. I think the one thing that I experienced was if you can just get one opportunity, even the smallest thing, to prove your value, and then you combine that value by then networking the hell within that business, you very quickly can actually start to become globally recognized. So for example, we ran one program, and within 24 months, we were running programs across 4 locations around the world with no brand equity. I was just myself and my wife. And I think that was something I was saying to Pete, is in many cases, it doesn't take a lot of time to prove as long as you can just add value. And I think that was just something I thought I would share.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mark. And I really truly believe in what you've said and that ethos. It's not really about how big you are and what you've made and what you've racked up. It's really truly about where you see value and where you can add it. And there is something about trust as well, because it doesn't matter how big you are. If I don't trust you, I am not going to do business with you. And it's really, really important to highlight that message over and over, because people truly feel, especially sort of entrepreneurs, SMEs, that, the bigger, the better. But that's not the case. Can I actually add impact and add value into a company that's super scaled, super established? I don't know. Or will I care about it more because I am a smaller business for now? And will I continue to care about my clientele and my business when I grow? So there's a lot of ethics there as well in what you're saying. Thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else wants to add to this? I'm looking at Pete.
Damn, I should have turned my camera off, shouldn't I? No, we all had a good chat. It was great to speak to 2
about
people.
sharing what you think, really. It's not putting anyone on the spot.
No, it's fine. Don't panic. It was great to speak to 2 people at kind of different places in the world to start with. It's not often you jump on a networking Zoom call that's like that, and that's good. Yeah, it was great to all share our what our businesses do and our experiences off that. And like Mark said, I think we're all consultants in some way or other. So it's great to see that synergy come together.
That, thank you. And let's be clear, we're not just a chamber that hosts events and workshops or webinars. I mean, that's quite huge in itself because we do so many, but we are a living network. We're problem solvers, deal makers, and we're creating this ecosystems. We're building this together. And the connections you make in this room could unlock your next market, your next client, your next investor, your next introduction that might lead to a fruitful venture for you and your business. That's interesting. So I'm just thinking if we have time for one more breakout. So I'm gonna see if we can do this here quickly, but I don't think we've got the time because we've got to be done in a few minutes. I'm going to speak to Doug. Doug, do you have any sort of closing remarks on where the business is shifting and how it's affecting the UK market, or what do, say, the US feel about the UK market? And I would like to add to that as well, if you're around.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So actually, just the other day, I met with the British government in an event in Phoenix, along with London and partners, both of whom would like to partner with us in the US side and on the UK side. So I'll circle back with you. I know you and I are meeting in the next few days as well. So I'm looking forward to that. A lot of opportunity. Yesterday, we had 2 events in Global Chamber New York. One of them very strongly in the UAE. It was at the Consulate General of the UAE in New York. As to your point and the point that's been made, diversification and building a portfolio of markets and opportunities for our businesses is so important. And what's happening in the UAE, what's happening in Saudi Arabia is really amazing. And so we probably all need to be involved in some way. Michael Quigley is going to be involved with 1 billion people, and many of whom will be in the Middle East, will be in countries all over the world that are growing and expanding. And so, Michael, do you mind giving us your final comments and maybe anything we should be thinking about as we go from this meeting to our next part of the day?
Yeah, I think 2 things building on what's been said about trust and what's been said about like attracting customers. The first is with the Global Chamber, what I love about it is all the things that can be put as barriers to your clients or connections just fall away. It's like we're here to want to help each other, and like Zainab said about trust, you can build trust so quick in the right environment. Otherwise, it can take years. So Global Chamber definitely does that. I wouldn't be here otherwise. The second thing is somebody I met through the Global Chamber, Sam Santiago, and he's gay. And he did a session a few months ago about helping the LGBT community. And he said, well, if you're going to help 1 billion people, most of those are going to be my people. And I think that's really cool to keep in mind for your clients. You know, you might have opportunities through the Global Chamber and to open up to a whole new sector that you never even thought of, and they might love you. So I think that thing about staying radically open-minded and willing to trust in a safe context like this kind of professional organization, it's a winning combination. So yeah, thanks to Sam. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. Thank you, Doug, and thank you for the initiatives, as well as the continued partnerships that we are building here in the UK and the USA and globally. And indeed, we will be meeting the end of the week. And Michael, thank you so much for your added value and the words that you just spoke. It's really wonderful to hear, and it truly is about trust. In fact, we are going to have a workshop around cultural trust and also business trust and ethics. So we will be doing that. Keep an eye out on that. And thank you all for showing up, and not just physically, but with energy, curiosity, and generosity as well. And that's how global business gets done. And if we haven't spoken directly, please come find me. And if you want to host a roundtable, lead a topic, or suggest a speaker for next time, my door is always open. So until then, let's stay bold and connected and keep our business going. Thank you all so much for today. Thank you
very much.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.